Well, I'm back here at my local pond here, bringing out the Ace. See what some testing kind of reveals. Made a few different setting changes. As you can see in the last video, finally got all the wings, got everything on. So now, time to get her in the water, see what she does. With this guy here, it goes to the left. So I'm so used to going to the right a lot. So it just takes a moment. I got to tell myself, go to the left, and it's not very often. It's rare. I've done it once before where I went to the right and this thing just, wants to flip when turning that direction if not careful. Got the GPS in it, seeing if I can get a little bit faster than 52. Comes out of the water again. Always to the left. Good power. Just quick. And then when I get back to the shop, I'll pull the data. And it's good to get it out and do some testing, kind of see what it does, make a few changes, and go from there. You can see on the front wing right there, I added a whole bunch of new weight and then reshaped the front canard a little bit more, because when it comes to wings, at slow speeds, they don't really take effect. But when you go faster, then they start taking effect. And some of, like with hydroplanes, think of like an airplane wing. Most of the body is shaped that way to where the top edge is nice and rounded and then the bottom is flat. So basically when the air comes over, the air in theory underside will flow faster, top side will slow down, so creating a low pressure on the top side, lifting the boat off the air. Same thing with the wings itself. So my rear wing, has the same, top, to where, especially back here, I need the lift in the back to get the back end of the boat out of the water. So the bottom is flat right here, and then the top comes like this and then drops down. So it creates a low pocket of air down here. Negative, positive air wants to lift it up. With the front, added some weight, but that weight is reversed. So that way, the top is flat, but the bottom has that concurve. So it creates a high pressure on the top side, low pressure on the bottom, and it's going to want to try to suck the front down to the water. The reason why to this, so that way, try to keep the front end stable, especially in windy conditions, racing, and I can still have a lot of adjustability. So here I can move the wing up and down. The front wing I can do forward or up and down as well, and using a gauge and a flat table, I can put my gauge on there, see what's going on, and then make adjustments if needed. But this actually looked really good on the water. And this Tenshock motor's got some power. It will pull that right sponson out of the water and just torque the hull. So we're gonna pull everything apart. And one thing with these guys here, it just seems like they just constantly get water in them. It's normal. It's hard to get a good sealing. I got, rubber here. I got some silicone for this back cover. And, the back cover here is only removed only when making adjustments to the strut. That's the only time. And then with some builds like this, they're like with racing, you got, rules and regulations you got to comply by, which is like called NAMBA and, scale, and you got to build it a certain way if you plan to race. If you don't plan to race, it's all sport. You can build it however you want, 4S, 6S, however you're choosing from there. So, but, my intentions was racing, so I built it to the, the rules of what NAMBA says, or, the local racing community plus my club. And, just, got to look at those rules and then kind of, build it from there. And, some clubs say I got to have a driver, other clubs say no. The club I'm in, they say I don't need a driver at all inside here. So, which then allows me to run a bigger battery pack, get a little more weight up here. because one thing like with this is the wings on the back, you know, they're really heavy at like 6-7 ounces, so it causes the front end to be like this, and it's hard to get that COG just right. So the wings are all, you know, made from a 3D printer out of polycarbonate, and did them as light as possible, and polycarbonate is a very strong plastic, so trying to keep the weight down but create, you know, stiffness as much as possible. Then it's got plastic screws here. If it, you know, the wing rips off, then it'll break the screws, breakaway screws, and then these are just, well, the metal bars will just pop right off. All right, so I just took a look at the GPS record, and that is 55 miles an hour, which is not bad, which that beat my last run of 52. So, you know, it's been sitting here. Let's check the temps. 87, 86, 80 on the speed control. She is running cold, which is a good temperature because, you know, when we get into summer, you know, the water is going to get hotter. So, you know, that's what I'm also trying to tune to. I'm trying to tune to good performance that is, you know, within, you know, a good speed range, on top of it running cooler, so during the summer I can run the same setup, and it just makes a longer lasting longer running lasting setup that just runs, it's just more efficient. When we pull the data from today's runs, and kind of give more of a breakdown on it. I know there's a lot of videos out there that show the data, that shows a little bit of breakdown. I'm going to, you know, break it down a little bit more. And then there's a couple key features when you pull a data log you want to make sure and change, so that way you have the settings right, because what we're aiming for is on the RPM for a 8 to 10% difference from loaded to unloaded RPM. So that's what we're looking for. So on the next run here, I'm going to swap out a battery, and then we'll come back to it. All right, so now we're at take 2. Second battery's installed. But even the best of us pull a move, and getting everything put together and forgetting to turn it on. We all do it. But it's worse with, you know, whenever you got everything all taped down, everything is sealed in, then you find out, sometimes you put it in the water, you find out, forgot to turn it on. I will always, before going in the water, just hit the steering, hit the throttle, and do it there. So on take 2 here, so what we're gonna do is try to get a RPM comparison. So what we're gonna do is right here, make sure there's nothing that can hit the propeller or something. Full throttle for like 2 seconds, so that way it gives you a baseline on your RPM. So there's my baseline right there. All right, so now we're gonna go into the water. I'm trying to do a lot of different things right now. Hold the radio, I got my camera. Hopefully you guys can see picture. I got a new way where I'm holding the camera right now, which I'm still figuring out. So please, if the video image is a little off, I do apologize as best. All right, let's do it. Take 2. Yeah, it takes a second to get up on plane, but that's normal. I'm careful coming that direction because I got some wind. I got the GPS set up on what's known as a drag and set for 500 feet. So, with 1,500 feet, sorry, not 500. And give me an idea what G's are pulling, possibly top speed. Me and that bush, this thing needs more space. Wow, that just climbs that fin. You guys can just see that. And sometimes they'll do that. Kind of hook into the corner a little too hard. And I just got to remember this one, all my other hydros will turn really good. This one, I got to stay on throttle into the corner. If I don't and let off, that one sponson will just dig. There she goes. And I just got to be careful going. I'm coming off the throttle a little bit more. This thing just gets a little too wild on a full throttle punch. I think I brought 3 batteries, but the water is getting really rough right now. Pushing the luck with this guy. And I am not in the mood to go play fetch with this thing when it flips. So I think for a setup, pretty happy. The video, I'll replay it, and if anything, I'll adjust the front wing, maybe a little bit more down. Right now, the conditions are getting pretty nasty. So let's check temperatures one more time. 110 on motor, 100. ESC is 102. And so, be right back. All right, so basically it was 1.03 Gs at a speed of 53 miles an hour. This run here, I was running a little bit slower. The weather and the waves are starting to become a little bit more. Winds kicked up a little bit, so pushing it faster. I just wanted to be a little on the safer side, and it was already getting a little wompy on me, so we'll just leave it to that. I think we're happy. Maybe do a quick wing change, but other than that, good success. All right, so we're on test number 3. Sorry on the last video. Again, I'm trying a new camera mounting system, and last video it was hard to kind of tell, so bear with me again, you guys. So we're on run number 3. Hopefully get a better capture of this run. GPS is going again. Weather and lake conditions have calmed down a lot more. I have made adjustment to the front wing, and then the turn fin as well. It took a little bit less off the degree. Crazy how much it just torques the boat. Wide open. Never really did a wide open corner. 3/4. Wide open. Yeah. Wide open. Wide open. Beautiful. I think front wing change helped. And then, coming back, not broken, no overheating, even better. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I got a couple more coming, and the next one coming up, we'll see.